Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
Don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to shut it for you real quick. LOB.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Lewis gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer.
Pass is caught. Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
What was your mindset when you stepped in the batter's box?
Go yard. I mean, I'm a pitcher. Why not swing as hard as I can? I got nothing to lose.
It's nothing to man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. Instead of saying, why me? They're saying this is what he want me to do. And, Cleveland! This is for you!
The way we approach the game is the same way we approach life. You do the right thing. You make the right play. You make the right play. And in life, it's the same thing. What do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do? And you do that. You know, it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to do. And I think it's just that.
Welcome to
What?
The game. To me.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Another episode of What the Game Means to Me, Bill and Brown edition. NFL recap. Gonna hit on week one. Of course, preview you guys for week two. Before we get into things, I want to introduce my co-host, of course, Thaddeus Bill. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. Ready for another Sunday NFL football. Looking forward to it being, a little better than last week, but just ready to recap and ready to get to it.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, definitely for both of us. Like we said, well, now it's official. FSU season probably is done. Bill Napier should be on the way out, hopefully mid-season or before. So we ain't even going to touch on college football today. It's a whatever thing.
Really nothing to talk about, bro. Both our teams, we live in we literally are in the, maybe you can put Cali or Texas up there or Georgia, but Florida's the best state for football. And we can't find no dogs right now. I don't know what's going on, but it's ready to talk about NFL, some real football, because what we be putting on film, no comment.
Yeah, that joint was crazy. I know you've seen the little Twitter post in the background. DJ was taking a snap in the background. Y'all was having a water gun fight.
Oh yeah, we're not serious, bro. We're unserious.
They said fire.
You know how many people give me that, man?
That joke was hilarious, but I didn't think y'all were gonna lose to Memphis for real. And then us, I mean, I knew it could have gone either way.
It could have been closer though with Florida. They got dominated again by a backup quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to say that. And they try to do a little bit at the end, but yeah, nothing doing there. Like I said, Bill Napier hopefully will be fired in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Praying on that. But regardless, listen, like I said, week one thoughts. I know I did that for our overreaction Monday, but just some of your thoughts on week one. Like you said, both of our teams were on the losing end. Definitely expected better outcomes, especially my team. Didn't expect to lose by 6 field goals. We literally lost to 2 players, Boswell and TJ Watt. Don't know how you lose in the game of football to 2 players. Literally only 2 players, but bad showing on us. Yeah, I know y'all lost by game-winning field goal, but just week one thoughts overall. Your team, other teams that or players that kind of stood out to you.
Yeah, obviously I missed most of the 1 o'clock games, but I saw some of the 4, and I went back and watched some of the games. Not in full, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, but I watched there were certain games that I keyed in on. I was just surprised to see not a lot of quarterbacks had success. Like all my parlays, or just in general, a lot of quarterbacks throwing for under 200 yards.
Yeah.
But I saw there was a little study. They did a little study, and a lot of teams are just sitting in too high right now, forcing quarterbacks to beat them by checking the ball down and making smart decisions. But just surprised to see, not too many quarterbacks went off. A lot of bad quarterback play. I don't know. It's just week one. I know that has something to do with a lot of teams, starting to sit their starters in preseason. There's some teams that don't even trot them out there, like the Falcons. I don't know. If I was the Falcons, I would have been mad. If my quarterback, unless they did it because they knew Cousins isn't healthy, but for my first round pick that's not going to play, he's not supposed to play for the first 2 years, to play 2 drives in the preseason, and then the coach say, I see what I need to see, that would have made me mad. But just surprised about the quarterback play. To to talk about the Jags, honestly, people that watch the whole game and that are Jags fans are really optimistic about the defense. We held them to their lowest EPA in like the Mike McDaniels era, and outside of that, we kind of shut them down outside of 2 plays. So really proud of the group and how they played. We're down 2 key starters, 2 corners already. Tyson Campbell and Darnell Savage, which sucks, but with our coordinator, I think we can get the best out of our personnel. So really excited for the Jaguars and their defense and how they looked last week. But really the only surprising thing from week 1, not really, but the Patriots game for one. I know the Bengals always start slow, but the Patriots, bro, like this is supposed to be one of the worst teams in the league. But now we know when you never know in the NFL. The Patriots are always scrappy, but we know that their defense is good. And,
the defense is legit.
He's not Belichick, but he played in the league and he sat there and he knows his system and he knows, he knows how to run a defense. He sat in the wings long enough, so looks like he has those boys ready to play. And just, I don't know, some games were shockers, but not really. Like the Panthers, everybody thought they were going to be at least a little better. I know they don't have the best roster. For them to get beat by 35 or 37 is insane. Another somewhat shocker. I didn't expect, like, I know Caleb was gonna have some struggles, but he had he really struggled. Like he might throw for 160 yards and a couple of picks, but my man's didn't even meet 100 yards, and he was trying to do a lot of the stuff he did in college. He's kind of realizing like these D linemen are just as fast as me. All that's and stuff. You can do it. You can get away with it. He's still a very good athlete, but in the NFL, it's different. But the quarterback play overall just surprised me, and then a couple of upsets. But with week 1, I always tell people, like, when they're asking me to send them bets or who do I think is going to win, I'm like, bro, it's week 1 in the NFL. You literally never know. Yeah. Because I guarantee you, like, out of the one game or the one bet that ruined many people's parlays last week, it had to be the Patriots or Bengals. Because I'm telling everybody me bets, I'm like, that's my lock. That's one game that I know what's going to happen. And I start checking the score. I'm like, okay, Bengals not coming back. I keep checking. Are they going to come back? No, sir. So week 1 was interesting though, but nothing surprised me too much outside of bad quarterback play. Yeah, no,
I definitely understand. I agree. Like you said, a lot of quarterbacks threw for under 200, which is kind of weird to see. And I guess there's a lot of, I don't know if there's a lot of defenses that just like stepped up to the plate, and they're like defenses have become better. Like you said, it's probably just defensive coordinators, how they're playing quarterbacks nowadays. The first few weeks, but also too. Like I said, just maybe the improvements of certain defenses around the league. Because like it wasn't a great stat line for a lot of quarterbacks, even like ones that we would expect to have one. But like you said, Caleb, only bright spot with that, like I said, 300 over 93, but he didn't turn the ball over at the very least. Like you said, sometimes that can happen with rookie quarterbacks, especially if they're trying to do certain things that they used to do in college that sometimes may or may not translate over. But overall, NFL week 1 thoughts, hitting on my Falcons first. Like I said, I think just like you said with your Jaguars defense, I think our defense is as advertised. It may not look like it just because we gave up 6 field goals, but a lot of them were in short yardage or after turnovers. So, when they did have to try to drive the field, I think they maybe had like one decent drive to where they kind of went a little bit of the lengths of the field. But other than that, I think our defense should be as advertised. Each week they should just continue to get better and stronger. It's really just going to be the offense, and hopefully, they follow suit. Hopefully, Kurt's a little bit more healthy. Maybe I heard his post game. I think it was interviews throughout the week just saying kind of like what they were trying with being in pistol formation mostly, even though he's been an under center quarterback pretty much his entire career. But don't know if it was kind of like a cover up or if it's like just truly kind of like something that Jack Robinson wants to try. But I think we need to go back to what works with the NFL quarterback who's been in the league for what now? 11 years, something like that.
Bro. I think he's getting close to like 13, 14, 15.
13? Okay, yeah. We need to go back to doing what he's been good at and what he's been able to succeed at, which is play action. Like I said, I don't know if he's healthy enough, to push off, to run those type of plays. But, at this stage and the amount of money that we put into him, put into the defense, and the type of team we're supposed to have, he has to be healthy. That's just flat out, period. If not, then, Michael Penix should be there, should be ready. And like you said earlier, maybe that's why he wasn't really getting many snaps in the preseason. But regardless, we need to figure something out with Kurt. But other than that, overall week 1, I guess talking about some other games, like you said, or going along with what I said as well, the defense. for New England, maybe legit. Don't know if that could also have been a little bit of maybe Joe Burrow not having his weapons, or obviously not having his weapons fully throughout the offseason. Obviously I know Jamar had or still has his contract talks. T. Higgins still contract talks, and he was hurt and out as well. So and then just familiarizing himself with his other I guess new offensive co-stars like Mike Gesicki, and they got Zach Moss, and then I know Brown was there last year, but obviously missing Joe Mixon obviously was pretty big. And as y'all can see, Joe Mixon went off for Houston as well. So, exactly. So I think, like I said, overall, not a few surprises here and there. Like I said, New England probably being the biggest one. Outside of that, I mean, Arizona, they kind of do what they been doing all year. They played competitive and they end up just losing the game. That's kind of been their model the last 2 years. So there's probably gonna be another team that does that, or another year where they do that. Outside of that, New York Giants, they suck, so wasn't a surprise there. Denver hung in there, played decent for their pretty much new look team. Other than that, in Indianapolis and Houston had a shootout of a game. So your conference should definitely, or your division should definitely be something to watch for. I know we said that in the first week's episode, but definitely pretty much as advertised, or both quarterbacks, what we thought what we're going to get and what we're going to think we're going to get throughout from those teams throughout the year. So and even Tennessee didn't look bad either. So definitely going to be I think y'all might have probably maybe second third best second or third best division for sure this year. So something to watch out for. But other than that, move on to week 2. I know we had Bills Dolphins game. I know both you and I put some money on those games for certain bet props, and just didn't turn out the way that we wanted them to turn out at all. But I guess before we head into just week 2 predictions, game of the week, things of that nature, what did you think about Thursday night's game and Tua's concussion? What do you think? I think Shannon Sharp said he might need to wrap it up. Too many head injuries and too frequently, and they're getting worse. So what do you kind of think about the game and that as well?
First and foremost, the game just made me more mad about Sunday, because the Bills had a lead and they put their foot on the gas, and the Jaguars did the complete opposite. It just shows that it's another year where we try to, say that the Jets are coming with Aaron Rodgers, or the Dolphins this year. But ever since Josh Allen, ever since that year 2, he's had a stranglehold on that division. And we see no matter who leaves and who comes out, because some of the other guys that left are on the other side. Jordan Poyer, I know he's older, but the Bills just continue to dominate the Dolphins no matter what. The one win they had wasn't fluky, but it could have, it came down to the last play. So Josh Allen just dominates the division. I mean, I really don't even know what to say. It was a beatdown. Like, the Dolphins were just not that competitive. They had that one drive, but other than that, Tua looked flustered. They can pick him off, but we can't, and our secondary is better. I just don't know. The Bills dominated. They look good. Sean McDermott has that defense playing very well with a lot of names that most people don't know. But it's good to have some people, coming back into form. Von Miller looks a little better, because last year he was absolutely awful. And, him on the pass rush with Ed Oliver, and then some of those young corners they got that they drafted and developing or starting to make some plays. So it was just a complete beatdown. But on the Tua, it's kind of – it's sad, and I'm I feel bad for him, because he's a good football player, not as good as everybody says, but he's still a good football player. He led the league in passing. He's been in the league for 5 years, so obviously you're a good player if you're in the league for that long. But I just feel bad for him, scared for him, wonder what his parents are thinking, because like you said, the concussions are getting worse and worse. People get concussions where they lay on the ground for a little bit and they might get up and walk off. If his fingers are starting to lock, his arms are locked and hanging and stuff, it just looks scarier and scarier. And you can see the reactions by the other players, immediately telling them, calling the trainers over. And then they know with Tua, that's a delicate situation, because your brain, once your brain gets jarred, it's not like it gets healthier. He already has a little bit of damage to it. I'm not saying he has CTE, but from those concussions he suffered and hits, he already has a little bit of damage. So only gets worse and worse. And your brain's a really sensitive place. So just praying for him. And I know the competitor in him, if I put myself in his shoes, I wouldn't want to stop playing.
Yeah.
But, he has parents. He has a kid. He has to think about a young baby, a wife. And you love football. You play because you love the game. It's a kid's game. But he has his money and stuff like that, So if he walked away, I would understand. Because you want to, he's 25 or 26, bro. Still young. You want to be able to live your life. I understand your legacy. It matters. You're a competitor. You've been playing this game your whole life. You don't want to walk away like that. But at some point, if it starts to happen again, like if he gets another one this season, he might have to think about shutting it down. Because you don't want to be to the point where you can't even remember yourself playing, or you can't play with your kids. He has a whole life ahead of him. And I understand. I really understand as a competitor, how hard it would be to walk away, which is why I think he's going to come back at least one more time. But
yeah.
It's just a tough situation. I hate seeing it's crazy. It's not even my team, but when he was running, I'm slide to it, get down, and then
he
took the hit. I'm like, okay, but when I seen his arm lock up, it actually kind of made me mad. But it's a tough situation. Prayers to him. Hopefully, he takes as much time as he needs. Off. At least put yourself on short-term IR, 4 games or something. But try to slide, man. But I can't say nothing because the competitor in you, we can say slide all we want, but when the game gets going and that adrenaline's running and you got to step in the pocket and take off and you got to get the first down, come on now. What if this is the AFC Championship or Super Bowl? It's 4th and 8 this year. Say they make it to the Super Bowl. It's 4th and 8. Is he going to slide? I see him doing the same thing. So, tough situation, man. He just has to try to protect himself as much as possible. All right.
Yeah.
But take as much time as you can, do as much research, get as many opinions as you can, and do what you got to do, Tua. You have $100 million in the bank, so if you want to walk away, you're good. And Tua's doesn't come off as a guy that's going to blow $100 million. So
exactly.
That's all I really have to say about it, though. It's a tough situation for sure, but I wish him the best.
Yeah, hopefully so. Like you said, I feel like he's had a concussion every year he's been in the NFL. And like you said, it's just probably obviously that competitive nature. You want to stay in the game, you want to play. Obviously you want to compete, you want to be a champion. He wants to prove that, naysayers and doubters wrong because, obviously there's been talks literally since he's been in the league about the type of quarterback he is. So, definitely understand. And like you said, I was hoping he would slide too. It didn't, and it's crazy too. A lot of times in the NFL, it may just sometimes be on the player, maybe they're just prone of injury, but it didn't look like it was that crazy of a hit. And like you said, literally just fell, arm locked on. I was like, here you go again. Luckily, he was able to, get up and walk off on his own power, but still, it's still scary to see. And obviously, you don't want to, continue to see it from the same player, like I said, year after year, getting concussions. So, definitely prayers up to him. Hopefully, speedy recovery. But yeah, overall, I guess talk about again, like I said, it literally was it was domination from the beginning. I was after that, second TD run after they turned the ball over, second TD run from
Cook,
or turn it over on down, second TD run from Cook. I was like, oh yeah. None in my part, nothing I put in on these parlays is gonna hit. I already knew. I'm like, I put Josh Allen's completions over, Tua's pass attempts over. I'm just like, well, I thought that one might possibly hit, but obviously the concussion. So I was like, oh my god. And then anytime I'm like, literally everything is just blowing out the way. I'm like, what are we doing? And it was at home too, so I'm like, and it's a division rival. It's you're not supposed to come out that way, especially coming off of a win. Obviously against your team, unfortunately, to the Jags, but coming off of a kind of a rally type win, you're supposed to be coming in. I guess sometimes we do see as well, those type of wins kind of take a lot out of you on a short week, and you just come in maybe a little unprepared, or maybe just underestimating a Bills team that supposedly on paper got worse. So, not something that we would like to see, but again, it's still early in the season. A team that has aspirations of, to compete in the AFC, loaded AFC, but still one of the top teams, or considered one of the top teams. So obviously they'll be without their starting quarterback for a minute, but, we'll see how they fare out the next few weeks without him. But yeah, just overall a poor performance, and then just poor for our pockets as well. So definitely.
That was one of, real quick, bro, that was one of those, you got your parlays on, Prize Picks or Chalkboard or whatever. I miss a lot, I don't win a lot, but I get a lot of, at least 3 out of 6 on every one. This was 1 out of 6. I'm looking at, I'm like, man, this is ugly.
I think mine, I didn't hit that one. I think on this one, when I went back to look at it, because I was in Vegas and I did a little bit MGM app, which I hate the app a little bit. It just kind of sucks. But regardless, I was looking. I was like, damn, I didn't hit not one, and all of them were from that game. It's like none of them hit. But I'm like, what the hell? Like it's just one of them wonky like bets that I just could have saved it. Luckily, it was like technically like a free bet. Because if I lost, I got my money back. But regardless, it was terrible. I could have just saved that. Could have easily saved that and just waited till either yesterday or yesterday or for the game today. But week 2 predictions or like week 2 predictions, but like kind of just talk through like what you expect overall or expect from certain teams, certain players, and then we kind of get into like a game of the week.
No, real quick, let's add the thing we were talking about, the boomer bust thing for this week.
Oh yeah, that's next.
Oh, okay. So what did ask it again? Ask the question again, so I can.
Oh yeah. I was just saying, kind of like game of the week, NFL predictions, some things you expect from some teams, the players. What's your game to watch?
Yeah. Okay. For me, game to watch. It's not really that many crazy games. I want to see the Sunday night game. I want to see Caleb bounce back versus CJ. 2 young quarterbacks that potentially can be the face of the league. Just looking forward to a bounce back performance because I know he's better than that, and I know the player he is. He didn't sleep well at night, but I feel a few upsets brewing this week. I know we're picking our games, but that's really what I'm going to talk about. Sure. I have a crazy feeling like the Bucs beating the Lions is not that crazy of an upset because it's a playoff rematch, but I think people are sleeping on the Packers with Malik Willis. The Colts going into Lambeau, like that's a tough game, and I know Malik Willis, like he has his passing problems, but he's a very dynamic athlete, and he has a lot of weapons. He didn't have this in Tennessee. Not saying he's gonna, take off, but I feel like that's a trap game, man. Indy lost a close one last week, a draining, division game, but I got a sneaky feeling the Packers are gonna come in there ready to play because their schedule gets rough after that, so they're gonna need to steal a few games while Jordan Love is out. And my second upset, I don't see it happening all the way, but wouldn't be surprised at all. I got Seahawks losing to the Patriots. Like I know everybody's locking in the Patriots for a top 3 seed, which they probably could still get because their schedule is crazy. But they're a scrappy team, and they show that they won't lay down for anybody. And that West Coast to East Coast trip, they're playing at 10 o'clock, really their time. It can be an adjustment. I know it's grown men and they prepare, harder than anybody, but it's still the NFL at the same time. So actually, those are my 2 upsets for the week. And if I had a lock for the week, I would go Jaguars over Browns. I know that sounds crazy after what we did last week. If we lose this game, whoever's watching, mark my words, I will never lock us again. And I got the Chiefs beating the Bengals. The Bengals always start off slow, and they just talk too much. Like they got Chase has the right to talk, but Cam Taylor-Britt, he's a good young corner. But you're not, man. You can't talk like that. You talking about Worthy? He just fast. He runs straight line. Like okay, we're gonna see today. If y'all line on one what happen. But the Bengals are doing too much talking. They're living off that Super Bowl run, and Cam Taylor-Britt wasn't even a part of that Super Bowl run, if I remember correctly. So, just too much talking. You're talking to a team that's won 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. Like at this point, I understand they play every game, but they're not even really worried about the regular season.
Yeah,
y'all. If y'all want to add fuel to the fire, go ahead, man. But Jags and Chiefs are my locks for the week.
Yeah. Definitely ready to see that game for sure. Like I said, just all the early talk in the week, and then I think Jamar talking about that. They know that they're the team to beat in the AFC, which is a crazy thing to say coming off a loss to who's a team that's considered like probably like you just said, literally top 3 worst teams in the NFL coming into the year. Whether that's going to be true or not at the end of the year, remains to be seen. But still, like that's a crazy thing to say coming off that type of week. But yeah, like I said, I'm definitely locked in on that one just for the entertainment purposes. Like I said, another divisional or conference rematch from a few years ago. I know the Bengals obviously got the best of the Chiefs those few years ago, and obviously the Chiefs kind of got their get back. But it's always good. It's always fun to watch these two teams match up. So definitely just for entertainment purposes, definitely I'm locked into that one. And then also too, like you said, the Sunday night one, just because the 2 young quarterbacks going at it. I think Caleb does have a better week this week, hopefully. The Texan defense isn't any much more of a slouch. Like they're a solid group for sure. So he's gonna have his work cut out for him. But I think just first week jitters, maybe getting out of the way. Hopefully he has some of his weapons there. I know Rome got hurt.
Keenan's hurt too. He's a game time.
But Keenan's hurt too. So having those 2 weapons will definitely help. Obviously says DJ Moore there, but Hopefully maybe DeAndre Swift kind of steps up to the plate this week as well. And they can kind of take off a little bit. But all in all, it's going to be a defense. It might be a low-scoring game. It might be a defensive match. Well, I know the Bears have a really good defense as well. Texans, their offense probably at this point is probably a little bit better than the Bears, just because without the weapons and a rookie quarterback. But definitely it should be another fun one to watch. I know we'll do like locks, pick'ems, and all that later on. But don't have a lock at the moment. But I guess another game I'm interested in seeing would be, like you said, the Bucs as well, versus the Bucs in Detroit. Like you said, it's a divisional matchup from last year, which was actually a pretty good game. The Bucs hung in there. I didn't mention it in week 1, but if I had to do winners, losers, I would say both them and the Saints are kind of winners in my book, just because they didn't seem to kind of miss a beat. All the talk, obviously, with the Falcons being the divisional favorites, it looked like those two teams won't make it easy whatsoever. I know the Saints played the Panthers, but I mean, being any NFL team by 30 points isn't a slouch. And then Bucs kind of picked up from where they left off at. They've been a consistent team. They've looked that way with pretty much the last 2 years, with Baker at the helm. So I think both of those teams had pretty decent weeks. And like you say, it wouldn't be maybe not an upset, but I think they do play Detroit close as well this week too. So those do definitely be my games to kind of lock in and pay attention to. But like you said, let's hit on some boom or bust players as well. I guess you can kind of mix them in or do boom first, bust second, whichever one you want. Oh,
I'm muting
oh,
myself.
there you go. Yeah, no, you're good.
My buzz player for the week would be Derek Carr. Coming off a good week 1, everybody's a little bit high on him. The Spencer Rattler rumors have gone down a little bit, but he's going against that Cowboys defense, and that the Cowboys, I'm positive, I don't know what their record was the year before, but last year they didn't lose a game at home, so they come out ready to go off a good week 1 dub where a lot of people were sleeping on them. So I have Derek Carr having one of those bad performances, where he starts blaming everybody, pointing fingers. He loves doing it. Telling guys they cut off their route too short. Another bus player, I got Will Levis going against that Jets defense. They feel disrespected of, how they were dominated this week. This week on Monday. Like the Niners ran all over them. They did whatever they wanted. And the Jets are they're one of those teams where I'd say they have a top three defense for sure. So they're probably a little hurt. And then Robert Saleh came out and said that, that wouldn't happen again. So I look for them to have a bounce back performance as well. And Gardner Minshew, the last bust performance is going to be Gardner Minshew versus the Ravens. That's just not a sexy matchup. Yeah. He loves to dump the ball down, and then the Ravens have those aggressive corners that, will sit. So I just don't really see that going well for them. And then Devontae they have some weapons. Brock Bowers is good in Devontae, but they don't have the right quarterback to get him the ball. So I see that being a frustrating week. And I have for boom, Jaden Daniels versus the Giants. That defense is somewhat solid, but I think that he showed some signs last week. I know he's running the ball a little bit too much, but I can see him having a 300-yard game or one of his first, bigger games. And then I have Mike Evans versus the Lions. Mike Evans eats versus everybody, but the Lions secondary and Terrion Arnold, he played well last week, but Cooper Kupp, I forgot how many catches he had. I know he had 21 targets, so Mike is going to have a pretty big day. In my last, I got to stop being a homer, man. I don't think I'm – I want to say Evan Ingram because last week the Dolphins pretty much took him away. They blanketed him with everything. Like they had somebody over top of him and underneath him all game. But I think we have too many weapons for the Browns to really focus on one guy. And their linebackers are okay. JOK is a good athletic linebacker, but I feel that Trevor will, look Evans' way a little more because he had a rough game last week. And I think he'll have a bounce back performance because they don't really have linebackers that can really cover. Like JOK can cover, but he has to worry about so much else that if he worries about Evan Ingram, it's not going to be a good day. So I got Evan Ingram having a big day.
Yeah. All right. I feel that. Just a little bit of breaking news. Don't know if it's breaking news, but my Falcons got a little bit of a break tomorrow night. So AJ Brown, he's been downgraded, so he'll be out. So hopefully that helps because wasn't really looking forward to seeing that AJ Terrell matchup with him.
I don't mean to cut you off, man. This is terrible timing. Evan Ingram just got a hamstring injury, so he's out today.
Oh yeah, I would say both were hamstring injuries, and you just said he was going to be one of your boom players as well. So that's crazy. Yeah, AJ also out with a hamstring injury. Evan Ingram's out with a hamstring too. So that's tough. Obviously, two starting players are very important receiving threats for their respective teams. So definitely sorry to hear that for your dad. But my week got a little bit better. I'm hoping. So now we just got to worry about who Devontae, Devontae, I can't think of the name. It's the tight end. I'm tripping. All we got to do is, for the Eagles. I'm tripping. Dallas, Goddard. I couldn't look at the last name. I was trying to think of the first name. But yeah, all I got to really worry about, I guess, is Dallas. And I think our linebackers are good in coverage and in run. Obviously, Saquon, he had a big week last week, so we have to worry about him. Maybe, throwing Jalen off a little bit, and then Devontae Smith. So might be all right. Feel a little bit better now. But to hit on my boom players first. So two of them are going to be running backs. I think J.K. Dobbins should have a very good week. Plays the Panthers. Derek Brown got hurt. So they really don't have their run stopper there. And that defense just isn't as good as we thought. Team as a whole isn't as good as we thought. So I think he goes off for another big week running the ball, and he outsnapped Gus Edwards as well. So I don't know if he's starting today, but whether he does or not, I think he should have a big week. Not a big surprise, but Kyron Williams as well. He got pretty much most of the snap shares last week, and they pretty much say he's going to be the workhorse. So more touches, and against the Arizona team that their defense is okay. Nothing to write home about, but snap shares. He's a passing threat, and he's a running threat. So I think they try to get him the ball a good amount as well, especially now that Puka's out. So probably be him and Kupp doing most of the heavy lifting. And who's my other? Anthony Richardson. I think he might have a pretty decent week as well, just because he had a pretty good week last week. Just a few turnovers that weren't the best, weren't timely turnovers, or weren't turnovers you want in the timely fashion that he had him in. So that's been his thing though. He has to take care of the ball. He's a boom or bust type player to where he'll take big shots, big plays. Obviously, we saw the throw that he made. So he has the capability to do it, but he just has to be smarter with his decision making. But he does play a Packers team that typically known for their defense. They're still a pretty solid defensive team, but they did give up 34 points against the Eagles last week. It is week 1, and it is the Eagles. They have a bunch of offensive weapons and a bunch of people you kind of have to lock in on and worry about. But kind of the same issue and problem with them. They got a Jonathan Taylor. I'm not saying he's Saquon, but they have similar type games. You can kind of give Jonathan the ball. Once you give him the ball in space, obviously you can make a play. You can give it to him in a passing game or a run game. Obviously, he has a few receivers as well. Pittman, Alec Pierce seems like he has a good connection with as well. So, he has a few weapons that he can use at his disposal, and he's a bigger version of Jalen, essentially, and he's more willing to run the ball. It just comes down to whether he's going to protect himself or not. So, I think he can have a big week as well. Bust-wise, I would say I don't even really know if it's a bust, but I would say maybe possibly sitting them if we're going to talk about fantasy in terms of fantasy. But I possibly would say Amari Cooper. Actually, no, probably not, because you just told me that you have two starting corners down. So that may actually be another boom. Deshaun did try to give him the ball last week, but also Deshaun just isn't looking good at all. So yeah, it's kind of one of those up in the airs. Like Amari could have a big game, or he can go have another stat line like 2 for 19, and nobody would be surprised. So I'd probably just leave that one alone in general. So ice starts, I would say maybe Stephon Diggs. He had a big week last week. I don't know if he'll have a big week this week. They may key in on him. Maybe that opens things up for maybe Nico Collins or Tank Dell. So I think, Chicago, they have a really good secondary. Obviously, they have a really good corner in Jalen Johnson. So maybe they might lock in on him. They got to lock in on one of the receivers, but more likely it'll probably be him. They probably feel like he's the number one option. So I think he might have more of a slower week than he did last week. Who else? You already took the Derek Carr one. I think he's not going to have a good week. They're playing Dallas. That Dallas team as a whole and defense just they look primed and ready.
Ready to go.
Yeah, both of us, I think, we're kind of like thinking, they didn't really add anybody. It's like, how much better could they have gotten? But I mean, they showed that they're still a cohesive unit. They lost obviously Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, but they picked up Mike Zimmerman. He picked back up right where Dan left off. So that defense looks good. Offensively, they look good as well. I think Derek Carr has a frustrating day. I think they probably have to start throwing the ball early. And I mean, they really just have Chris Olave, Juwan Johnson, and I mean, that's really all. Yeah, that's really all you have to really worry about. Alvin Kamara here and there. So it's like they have people that they can lock in on, and I don't think they'll have any troubles there. And then last bust, I would probably say, I guess running back wise, I mean, it wouldn't be no running backs, I guess. Like, I would say maybe, I guess, I don't want to say Aaron Jones, but at the same time, I guess I could say Aaron Jones. Maybe not a bust, but probably just a slower week maybe. I mean, you're playing against the 49ers defense. Front four is always solid no matter who they have there. I know they've lost some key players the past year, but, I don't know. I just don't know if the Vikings overall is going to have that great of a game. They looked like they played good last week, but they did play the Giants, and they only won like 21-6 or something like that. So, they're playing a 49ers team.
The Giants are the NFL's Meadow Creek right now. Exactly.
So it's like it's not a good measuring stick. It's just like you're playing. It's like you said. I think you said it on See You Sunday. It's like playing a JV team. Yeah, you can't really see. You can't really see where you're at. So I think this week they'll see where they're at and they'll get tested. And I think Aaron Jones might be if we're talking fantasy wise, have the short end of the stick on that one. So boomer bust players for me for the week. I know it was a lot. I try to give 3 of each, but again, definitely looking forward to hopefully some of these players proving me wrong and hopefully some of them proving me right, because some of them are in parlays and we need them to do exactly what I said they need to do. But kind of moving on, I think we hit on most of the things. I think we can get into pick'ems now. I'll have the spreadsheet up next week about who won, lost for the first week. I don't think I had that great of a week towards the end with some of the games, but it could be a mixture. I just gotta go back and put it together. But week 2, like I said, we kind of preview some of the games and then hit our picks. We'll do a lock and an upset as well, like we did last week. But Las Vegas, Baltimore, probably a quick one for us.
Baltimore.
Yeah, it's like Baltimore. Easy one for us. So we'll both go with them. Next game, Chargers, Carolina, probably another easy, short one.
No, I mean, I think Chargers going to win, but I think it's going to be like one of those games where the Panthers jump out 10-0 or a double-digit lead, and then the Chargers walk them down.
Okay, yeah, I don't think it's going to be close at all. Bryce is looking more and more like I don't know. I don't want to say a bust, but it's just not looking good for him. Like, you throw a pick on your first play of the NFL season, that's just tough.
Yeah, I'm going with no, never mind. That's wrong. I was talking about the next game.
Oh, you're about to talk about the next game. But you say you're going with the Chargers, right?
Yeah, Chargers.
Okay, yeah. So both Baltimore Chargers. Moving on, we got New Orleans, Dallas. I think we both kind of said Dallas in the preview, so we definitely go there. Tampa Bay, Detroit.
I'm gonna just go out on a limb. I got Tampa.
You got Tampa?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Detroit just because they're at home. I can easily see it being one of the games, kind of like the divisional game last year, but I can easily see it being one of the games where it's coming down to the end. They kick a game-winning field goal, or they do kind of what they did last week. I don't know. I won't say it goes into overtime, but they just decide they want to run the ball down your throat, and they just win the game with David Montgomery. So I can see it definitely coming down to a situation like that. It's close throughout, and then they just whoever has the ball last, which Detroit might have it last, and just end up taking over the game that way. So I'm gonna go Detroit on this one, in a very, very close win. But Indy, Green Bay, who you got?
This is my upset of the week right here. I'm going with Green Bay. I think Malik Willis comes in and LaFleur, dials up a good game plan. So I think Green Bay pulls out the upset. Lambeau's not an easy place to play either. It never has been. So
yeah, that is true. And it might be a Malik Willis coming out party, like I said. He has players around him, obviously Josh Jacobs, and they have a young receiving core where I like a lot of those guys. Dobbs, Wicks, Christian Watson, like
Watson just got to
Reed.
stay healthy. I would love to have
Yeah.
somebody that's 6'4" and runs a freaking 4.3. Like, sign me up any day.
Exactly. So I think they got weapons around him to to make it work. It should be a good game. But he got the upset for Green Bay. All right, cool. I won't make it my upset, but I'm actually going Indy. I'm stand pat with my Anthony Richardson boom prediction this week. So I'm gonna go with Indy on this one. Cleveland, Jacksonville. I'm guessing you're going with the guys.
Yeah, I got the Jags, even though Evans out. It's gonna make the game much closer. I'm actually kind of scared about the game now, but your money don't make no money, so I'm going with the Jags.
Facts. All right, I'm gonna go. I think I went with y'all last week. Y'all kind of upset me, but y'all all at home is the home opener. The Browns just don't look that good. Like I said, if Deshaun's gonna keep playing the way he's playing, I can see you guys win this game, but also too, it seems like you guys' defense is banged up. But I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. It's the home opener. I'm gonna give them the nod one more week, and after that, it's off limits. I might not be able to pick them depending on the matchup, but I'll go with Jacksonville this week. San Fran, Minnesota. Who you got?
Sorry, Sam. I'm on the bandwagon. I got y'all making the playoffs, but not this week. I think he'll put up some numbers, but I got San Fran.
San Fran. If I had to choose a lock for the week, I think this one might be my lock for the week. I'll go with San Fran as well. There's probably a lot of other games that can be locks, but I like to pick I want to pick a game that could possibly be close as a lock. I don't think it's going to be close, though. San Fran looked pretty good, but that's my lock. We'll come pick a San Fran as well. Seattle, New England, who you got?
I'm not doing this yet. Y'all got to show me again, Patriots. If y'all do, this is one of the games where I think it's going to be an upset, but this is tough, man. They're going West Coast to East Coast. Gino, I trust in you. But if the Patriots won, it wouldn't surprise me. Not one bit. Like, not one bit.
So you're going with Seattle?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going with
it's
what?
hard to pick the Pats, bro. Like,
yeah. It's really hard to pick them for sure. Like, it's tough. It's like I want to, though, and I want to say it's my upset of the week as well. But actually, you know what? I'm going to stand. It is my upset of the week. I think Kenneth Walker's out at the lineup for Seattle. Like you said, the whole West Coast, East Coast trip, I just made it. So it didn't have too much of an effect on me, but like you're saying, they're pros, but it can for sure. And they came from a little further out west. So, and their defense looked good. So, if it's a game that their defense can keep them in it and then offensively they just do enough, I can see it being an upset. So that's going to be my upset of the week. So lock of the week, San Fran, upset New England. We're gonna go with it and see what the boys got. Jets, Tennessee, who you got?
Jets, they're mad about last week. And to be up like that, how the Titans were in the blow lead like that, it's kind of demoralizing. I know it's the home opener, but the Jets can't afford to go 0-2, especially with all those expectations when they get Rodgers back, this and that. So, yeah, the Jets got to take care of business.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go Jets as well. Like I said, Tennessee played a pretty good game last week. That team a little bit better. I thought they would be actually decent. They have a lot of older vets, but older vets that can still play. So I think they'll make it tough, but I think the Jets will end up winning. I think Rodgers gets. It's only week 2, but I think he'll start to find his form a little bit. He'll get a little bit more comfortable this week and just kind of take it week by week as he does. So yeah, I'm gonna go Jets as well this week. Giants, Washington. I think you already kind of said it, but yeah, Washington.
I will not watch it. This game will never come on my TV at any point. I don't care if the Jaguars in an hour weather delay.
But they say this ain't one of the league pass type games. This one of the ones they put on like CW or something like that. Like they put on the back end channels, like where nobody got cable or nothing. Like nobody's about to watch this. It's about to be terrible. So, but I'm going with Washington as well. I don't know if there will be one game this year where I'll pick the Giants. Like really thinking about it, I don't even know what their schedule looks like, but I don't think there's going to be one game.
It's as hard as the Patriots. The two worst teams have some of the hardest schedules in the league.
Exactly.
They might get blessed though with a quarterback.
Yeah, in the draft possibly. We'll see though. Pittsburgh. Oh no, I skipped one. My fault. Rams, Arizona. Who you got?
I was looking at the odds for this. People have like the Rams is plus 102 and stuff. I don't. I'm gonna go. I know Aaron Donald's gone. But until they prove me wrong, I'm going with the Rams. Because every time the Rams play the Cardinals, Aaron Donald just be killing Kyler. So they run that series. You know, they might have found not another Aaron Donald, but you know, the Rams are one of those franchises that draft or replace well. So
yeah, I'm going Rams as well. Just to keep it short. They're a team that I just trust Sean McVay and their body of work. They probably should have won last week in Detroit as well. No, another good game against a team that's probably top 3 in the NFC at the moment. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. Like I said, Arizona's another. Like I said, they'll make it close, but they probably just won't be able to pull it out. Pittsburgh, Denver, who you got?
It's a trap game, but I want Fields to keep eating so they keep Russ on the bench. So I'm gonna go with Steelers. But playing in Denver is a tough environment. That defense is tough. That's gonna be one of those. Like I'll take the under for that game for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I got Steelers. I'm a Fields believer. You know, he's a Georgia boy too. So
yeah, I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Denver. I think I don't know. I think Arthur Smith may try some more things with Justin this week. I mean, he didn't look that bad last week. They didn't let him throw the ball down the field that much.
He made the play he was supposed to make, though.
Yeah, exactly. He made the play he was supposed to make. They did let him throw the ball downfield a few times to Pickens, but it was kind of like I think one was before the end of the half, or they both were kind of like towards the end of the half. But if they allow him to do a little bit more of that, he creates that connection with him. Maybe gets like Pat Fryermuth a little bit in the mix. And you know, Najee as well. I forgot they got Jaylen Warren. Like I think that offense starts to unfold a little bit. He just really with him. It just comes down to not holding the ball so long, making quicker decisions. That's really all I saw it was last week. And then like I said, he can, like you said, he can keep Russ on the bench for a few more weeks longer. Maybe you take over that starting role as a whole. But I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna go Denver this week. Like you said, it's definitely a game that you'll see the under, but I think I don't know. They're at home. The elevation that always kills people. I think I don't know. I just have a feeling about Denver this week. I think Pittsburgh had a pretty good week last week. Obviously, that defense is crazy, and Denver doesn't have that many offensive weapons, but. Denver's defense isn't a slouch either. Maybe they create a little bit of havoc, some turnover, and like I said, that elevation could sometimes be a big deal for a team. So I'm gonna go Denver. Cincy, Kansas City. I think we both picked KC, but who you got?
Oh, not even close. KC. They talk too much. The little bros talk too much.
KC for sure. I'm going with them as well. He said Pitt, and he said KC. All right, cool. And then Chicago, Houston. That's a good point. Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, nah. I'm trying to think, bro. I don't like. We got 17 games. I'm gonna go Houston. I don't want them to jump out. Like if we lose today and they win today. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go Houston as well. Obviously, I think it's just a little too early. For Chicago. I think overall, like I said, I think Caleb has a better game, but they just don't win the game. Houston's offense and defense is looking up to form. So and they're at home, so I'm gonna take them. And then Atlanta, Philly, who you got?
I'm gonna go Falcons. I can't believe I'm saying this, man. Falcons. This is one of those games like we look terrible week one. We had all these expectations. This is a get right game.
Yeah, they got to get right, and you just can't go into another I'm not sure week. It's a Sunday night game, but you can't go into the weekend and you're about to play Kansas City. Then we're looking at 0-3. A lot of people say like we should come out of the first 4 games 2-2. I can't see and don't want to see. Yeah, I don't want to see a possibility of 0-4. So I'm gonna go with Atlanta as well. Plus it's just my team. Just got to do it. So hopefully we come out with the win, man. It's also an Atlanta type thing to where we'll play bad against a bad team, and then we'll come out and play good against a top team in the NFC. So I can see us winning the game. I can also see us losing the game. So, but I'm gonna go with my team for one more week. We'll stand by for next week because I don't know what that's gonna look like. But yeah, Atlanta this week. Hopefully we get the dub. But which one was I don't know if you had a lock.
I know upset. My upset was the
Green Bay.
What Who's my upset? It was the
Green
Packers.
Bay. Yeah.
Packers. My lock. Who was your lock? Wasn't your lock?
My lock was
San Fran.
My lock was San Fran. My upset was New England.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Mahomes. I know this is kind of an easy lock, but the Bengals just talk too much. Like they're living in the past, bro. Like this is like the people talking about. I love Deshaun. The people talking about Deshaun like was top 5 when he was in Houston. That was COVID, bro. I'm gonna put something new on film, brother. So yeah, the Bengals got to put something new on film. Like, bro, they talk way too much. I'm surprised that coach had never told them to shut up. But yeah,
Shut up, yeah.
My lock for the week.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's not too easy of a lock. I mean, it could be just because they've been talking. Kansas City's never the ones to talk before games. They always talk during the game, after the game, like it's supposed to be.
Like, bro, I think y'all need to follow their lead. They do their talking on the field, and they got three Lombardis. Y'all have 0. Y'all made it there, but nobody remembers a team that loses for the most part, unless they lose how the Falcons did. Sorry to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's true. No,
I remember that in my life.
That's 8 years now. So it's like it's slowly, the pain slowly decreases year by year. But literally, like you said, because I'm over here thinking, like you said, they made it to the Super Bowl. What did they lose to? Was it San Fran?
Who? The Bengals, the Rams.
Yeah, Rams. Okay, yeah, it was. Oh yeah, it was that Rams. I'm like, I can't even think when they played. Yeah, that was one of those games. It was a good game, and then for some reason, it's like one of those. I guess it's one of those Super Bowls that get lost in the mix because it was like around COVID time, so it's like you kind of forget. But obviously it was the one that Matthew Stafford got because that was the year they traded Goff, got him, won the Super Bowl, so that makes sense. But yeah, like you said, they definitely got to stop doing their talking until after the game. But I don't think they'll be doing much talking after this week either. They're gonna be looking at an 0-2 start, and then behind their unless the Browns lose as well, probably be tied with them 0-2, and then obviously Baltimore is ahead of that division. So, but I think that does it for the pick'ems for the week. We got our upsets and locks. I went with New England as an upset, San Fran as a lock. Dad has KC as the lock, and then Green Bay as the upset. But last things, ain't last thing on our mind. I don't think I have it up, but I know we used to do a little grind my gear segment. Ain't last thing that you got before we head out today?
No, not for this week, man. I'm just looking forward to my team playing better football. Like, I don't care if my parlays hit. I want them to hit, but I need a Jags dub. If my parlays hit and we don't win, I'm still going to be sad because if my parlays hit, I'm going to book a flight to Jacksonville and I'll be up at the front office to talk to the coaches and the team Monday morning. But I'm just looking forward to another good NFL Sunday. I enjoyed it last week because I was at the game, but now I get to like sit in my crib and like watch any game I want to and check my parlays and check fantasy. So it's going to be a good Sunday. But if we lose, man, I'm not talking to you, Chris. If we lose, please don't say anything to me. I'm going straight to sleep because I need it. But I need a dub, bro. I don't care about anything else with a dub. I don't even care how it looks. I don't care if we went on a Hail Mary, a 66-yard field goal. I haven't slept in weeks. None of my teams are good. The Braves are playing better, but the Mets have their wild card spot right now. Like nothing is going good for me. Yeah. And if I would never think I'm saying this in 2024, but if I have to depend on the Magic basketball season started, I'm in trouble. So we need a dub. That's all I care about today. What about you, bro?
Yes, sir. I'm happy to be home. It would have been cool to watch all the games in Vegas, but I'm happy to be home. Like you said,
that would be cool. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that one more day would have hit for sure. So it definitely been nice. But overall, I mean, I got the use 2 TV. I could watch 4 of the games at the same time. Obviously, my team's not playing today, so I'll get to be a little bit carefree. Yeah, I'm be all right. I'm just looking forward to that 4:25 game and that night game as well. But yeah, my week got a little bit better with that AJ Brown news. Hopefully, we get a dub. I'd love to go into KC being 1-1, or I'd love for KC to come in here and we're 1-1, and some of those expectations we get to live up to. But other than that, it should be a good Sunday, like you said. Hopefully, that crazy parlay that you sent me that I put in, hopefully that hits. If that hits, and we're gonna be feeling right. I don't. That's all I can say at the moment. I wouldn't even know what to do. I forgot how much the plus was. It's something crazy, but it wasn't a crazy like
all those people score, bro. Put it like that. All those people really have a good chance of scoring. They have a 60% chance of scoring.
I think all of them, if not all of them, I feel like scored last week or in week 1. So that's why I'm like, oh, it's good this could possibly do it. So we'll see if it does. Y'all definitely will be hearing it from us if it does hit. But other than that, appreciate everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you, Prez. No victory nap for you today. Or any week this season.
We're locking that.
Locking no victory nap for Prez ever.
He Loki might not be able to sleep until the Knicks start preseason basketball.
Honestly, like that's the New York High team at the moment. Well, the Yankees too. I forgot he's a Yankee fan, so
yeah, they might.
Yankees and Knicks, all right. Football is non-existent in the state of New Jersey for the foreseeable future. So, but appreciate everybody for tuning in today. We'll catch y'all earlier this week because I'll be home. But we'll catch y'all sometime during the week for some more previews, some more recaps, and we'll get into it then. But until then, we'll catch y'all next time. Have a good one. Enjoy NFL Sunday.
Yes, sir.